So today I discovered this guy named Brian Taylor. I think it's Brian Tyler Cohen. I'm just go with Brian Cohen because I don't know if it's Taylor or Tyler. The reason why I discovered him is because everybody is talking about Obama's reaction to the photo of he and his wife being cropped on gorilla bodies. Or hopefully that's not offensive to the algorithm. Their heads were cropped on to animals that suggested that, you know, something very unsavory. I'll put it like that. This guy, this Brian Cohen guy, he lost me very early on in the interview because immediately he started virtue signaling, as Democrats often do. But I really appreciated Obama because he addressed a few concerns that I had. A lot of people think of Obama, the president, but I consider Obama the man.
There is a vacuum of leadership
Right.
on the left. You are among, if not the most popular politician in America, and so you're right here, you know. And so, why is it important for you in this moment to make sure that you defer to others?
Well, first of all, I'm not a politician anymore, and I can't be, right? I mean, I guess technically I could run for, city council or something, but
Yeah.
I'm not in elected office. I don't have levers of power. I'm term limited out, and by the way, I believe in the Constitution, and also I believe in my marriage. And Michelle would divorce me if I, even if I could run again.
Now, for anybody who's been following me for a while, this whole Michelle Obama going haywire is something that I have been complaining about for a minute. Even though everybody is paying attention to the other thing, this stood out to me. Like, Democrats are never short of virtue signaling. It's like a part of their brand of politics now. And, he keeps, Obama keeps taking jabs at, like, oh, I believe in, the Constitution. I would never, run for president again. I'm limited, I'm term limited out. Oh, well and good, whatever. This is the problem that I have with the Democratic Party. The brand that this male feminism kick that they're on, it's really, really annoying. It's a delusional female dominated party. As a woman, it's not popular to champion patriarchy. I just so happen to be raised in a male ran environment. Men were in control of everything. And regardless of that man's status, whether he be rich or poor, he was still the head of his house. The Democratic Party hates that. The thing that I appreciated about this interview is the fact that Obama was willing to take the time to address what Brian had said, or I'm sorry, Mr. Cohen had said, in talking about the Democratic Party leadership being in a vacuum. There is no real leadership over there. It seems like Obama is their only leader. And even he's being led by his wife.
Um, but I've always believed, I mean, this has been a central tenet of my work even before I was in elected office, that our job as leaders is to lift up other leaders, to empower others, to find their gifts and help them exercise those gifts. And so when I left the presidency, I said, what's our foundation going to do? We care about climate change. We care about racial justice. We care about healthcare. We care about a whole bunch of issues, and I work on those issues. Now, right now, I'm spending a lot of time helping to think about how we're going to respond to AI as it's coming down the pike, and it's moving fast. So I care about specific issues, but the thing I thought I could do uniquely, Michelle and I still have the capacity, not just here in the United States, but globally, to inspire and motivate young people and invite them in to this process. And that's what we need.
Obama do a whole lot of talking, and it sounds good. This whole wanting to help with the climate, racial change, and all these other things and all this hope talk. When he was running for president, I was in high school, and this was my first time realizing that I just might be a Republican. At this time, my mother had passed away, and I was living with my grandfather, and my grandfather was a Republican. We would have a lot of political talks because his thought was, I'm about to be an adult soon. I was 16, going on 17 at the time. And his thought was, I'm going to be able to vote. And growing up on my mother's side of the family, they were Democrats. Now, at my age, I had a choice on whether I could continue to live with my family, who was Democrat on my mother's side, or I could go to my father's side of the family, and they're very conservative. And I went over there with all the ideology that I grew up with. And one day, my grandfather, he was watching Fox News, and I was like, why would you watch this? It's just gross. That was my mentality at the time. And this was when he finally just said directly to me, you had the chance to live over there on your mother's side of the family in that liberal environment where the Democratic Party is making sure those people don't even know what a political party is. You come over here where we're Republicans and all you do is complain. Now, at the time, I was a teenager and I felt like he was picking on me. Now that I'm in my 30s, I see why the left side doesn't work. Leave it up to Democrats. They're going to puff your head up with all these wonderful things that they think that everybody should have access to. But at the same time, they never have solutions, or there's never a gateway to do for yourself. It's just always, it takes a village. When I had a choice, I could have continued to stay on the liberal side of the family while I was working hard to graduate and go to college and do all the great things that I ended up doing. Or I could be on the Republican side of the family where people actually pay and take care of their families and they're responsible for the choices that they make. The Republican Party is popular for young people because we're tired of being poor and we're no longer interested in buying hope.